All right, we're on Title 49, Part 221, Rear End Marking Device, Passenger Communicator, and Freight Trains. 221 1, Scope. 221 3, Application. 221 5, Definition. 221 7, Civil Penalty. 221 9, Waivers. 221 11, State Regulations. 2, Subpart B, Marking Device. 221 13, Marking Device Display. 221 14, Marking Device. 221 15, Marking Device Inspection. 221 16, Inspection Procedure. 221 17, Movement of Defective Equipment. Subpart A, 221.1 scope. The part describe the maximum requirements of provision governing the highly visible marking device of the train ending with the rear of the car of the all passenger commuter and freight train. So long as these minimum requirements are met, the railroads may adapt additional or more stringent requirements to the rear end marking device. 221.3, the application acceptance provided in the paragraph B of this section. The part applies to the passenger commuter and the freight trains which operate with the standard gauge minimum track, which is part of the general railroad system of the transportation. This part does not apply to a railroad that operates only with the trains consisting with the historical antiquated equipment or excursion with the educational requirement recreational purposes. Recreational purposes, the train operates only with the track inside installation, which is not part of the general railroad system of the transportation. Railroad transportation transit operations in the urban, but they are not connected with the general railroad system of the transportation. 221.5 definitions as used in the train means the locomotive unit. The locomotive unit is complied with the requirement without the cars involved with the railroad operating with the conductor with the main track. It does not include the yard movements. The commuter train means the short how the passenger train operating with the track of the which in part with the general railroad system of the transportation with an urban, suburban, metropolitan area includes the passenger train provided with the instrumental of the state political subdivision thereafter. The locomotive means the self-propelled unit of equipment designed for the moving the equipment of the revenue service that included the self-propelled unit designed for the carry freight and passenger traffic or both. Main track means the track of the other than the auxiliary train extending through the yards and between the stations which the trains operated by the timetable train order. The use of the governed with the signal system. The train order means mandatory directives issued with the authority for the conduct of the railroad opportunities issued with the yard limits. The red, orange, amber color range means that the colors defined with the chromaticity coordination expressed in the terms of the Internal Commission of the Illumination of the 1931 color metric system, which lie with the region bounded with the spectrum locus and lines defined in the following equation: x plus y equals 0.97 white boundary, y minus x equals 12% green boundary. G, the administrator means the Federal Railroad Administrative Deputy Administrative and any of the official Federal Railroad Administration to whom the administrator has delegated the support authority to under this part. B, the effective intensity means the intensity of the light of the candle is defined in the illuminating engineering society guide with the calculating the effective intensity of the flashing of the signal lights of November 1964. I, the qualified person means the name of the person who is skilled to perform the task and receive the adequate instruction. 221.7 Civil penalty. Any person in any of the type covered under this title, Title 1, U.S. Standard Code 1, including but not limited to the following: railroad manager, supervisor, official, other employee, agent of the railroad, any of the manufacturer, lessor, or leaser, railroad equipment at the track facility, the independent contractor providing with the goods and service of the railroad, any employee of such owner, the manufacturer, leaser, or lesser independent with the contractor with the violates any of the requirement of this part causes the violation of any of the such requirements subject to the civil penalty at least $650, not more than $25,000 per violation, except for the penalties may be assessed against the individuals only with willful violations, whereas grossly negligent violation of the pattern repeated with the violations created with the immediate imminent hazard of the death and injury to person or caused by death or injury permanently not exceed $105,000 per violation, but may be assessed each of the day of the violation constitutes a separate offense. See Appendix C for the civil penalty for the statement of the agency of the penalty policy. 221.9 waivers. A railroad petition a railroad may petition the Federal Railroad Administration for the waivers of compliance with any of the requirements prescribed in this part. Either the petition of the waiver under this section must be filed by the manager or containing with the information required for this part. 211 in this chapter. If an administrator finds that the waiver of the compliance with this public interest consistent with the railroad safety, may he grant the waiver of the subject to any of the condition he seems deemed necessary. Notice that each of the waiver is granted, including a statement of the reason therefore, and was published in the Federal Register. 2421 state regulations. Notwithstanding the provision of of this part, the state may continue to enforce any law or regulation under the standard that it was in effect of July 8, 1976, relating to lighted marking deficient devices in the rear car on the freight train, except to the extent with such law regulations or the standard would cause such a car to be violated of this part. Subpart B, the marking device. 221.13 marking device displayed during the periods prescribed in paragraph B of this section. Each of the train to which the part applies, but the occupies the operates the main track shall be equipped with shall be equipped with to display the train ending of the rear of the car of the train. 3, continuous illumination of the flashing marking device prescribed in the subpart B, unless equipped with the function of the photoelectrical cell activation mechanism complying with the photograph C of the section. The marking device prescribed with the subpart shall be illuminated continuously with flashing during the period between 1 hour before the sunset and 1 hour after the sunrise, and during all the hours of the weather and the condition of the so restricted the visibility that the end silhouette of the standard box cannot be seen for half a mile of the tangent track of the person having 20/20 corrected vision. Marking the device prescribed by this part equipped with the function of the photoelectric cell activation mechanism that can illuminate the flash device continuous whether there is less than 1 point candela per square meter of the ambient light. D, the centroid of the marking device may be located at the minimum of the 48 inches above the top of the rail. 221.14 marking devices is prescribed in statute 221.13. The passenger communicator in the freight of the train shall be equipped with at least one marking device which has been approved from the Federal Railroad Administration in accordance with the procedure, including with the Appendix A of this part, which has the following the characteristics. A1, the intensity not less than 100 candela, not more than 1,000 candela, or the effective intensity not less than 100 candela, not more than 1,000 candela, with the flashing light as measured at the center of the beam width. 2, the horizontal beam with the minimum arc width of 15 degrees each side of the vertical center line, with the vertical beam with the minimum arc of the width of the 5 degrees each side of the horizontal center line is defined with the terms of the 50 candlelight intensity points. A color defined with the road orange amber color range, and if the flashing light is used as a flash rate of not less than over the once every 1.3 seconds, not more than one in every 7 seconds. Marking device used as a passenger computer trains in compliance with the paragraph A of the section shall be lighted under the conditions prescribed in statute 221.13. B and C. When the locomotive is operated with a singly or the rear of the train, highly visible marking devices may be provided with the use of one at least marking device that complies with the paragraph A of this section. B or 2, at least one illuminated red amber classification light on the rear of the locomotive, provided that it complies with the paragraph A of this section. Or 3, rear headlight of the locomotive illuminated on low beam. 221.15 market device inspection. Each market device displayed in compliance with each of the parts shall be examined. Each crew change at the point to ensure the device is in proper operation condition. The examination shall be accomplished with each of the visual observing of the device and functionality with required, but the device will function which when required either the reposition of the activation or the switch covering the photoelectric cell. The examination shall be conducted with either the train crew or some of the qualified persons, provided that if the non-train crew member performs the examination, the person shall communicate with his or her findings to the locomotive engineering of the new train. When occupied, equipped with the radio telemetry capability, the marker displayed in accordance with the part may be examined, observing the reordered read out confirmation displayed in the cab or on control of the locomotive, demonstrating the limited light function as required in loop conduction of the visual. All right, 221.16 procedures, inspection procedures prior to operating activation switch, confirming the photoelectrical cell, conducting the test of a non-trained crew shall determine that he is being protected against the unexpected movement of the train, either under the procedures established in paragraph 218 of the chapter or under the provisions paragraph B of this section. In order to establish the alternative means of the protection under this section, one the train to be inspected shall be standing on the main track. 2, the inspection task shall be limited to the assertion of the marker is on the proper operation condition. And 3, the performing the inspection procedure, the inspector shall personally contact the locomotive engineer or the holster and be advised that the person that occupying the cab of the controlling locomotive and that the train is and will remain insecure against the movement until the inspection has been completed. 221.17 movement of the defective equipment. Whenever the marking device is prescribed and the bar is in this part becomes inoperative en route, the train may be removed to the next forward location where the marked device can be repaired or replaced. B. The defective rolling equipment, which because of the nature of the defect can be replaced only at the rear of the train of the move and the next to the forward location at which the repairs can be permitted to not to be equipped with the marking device be prescribed in this part. Alright, and when a portion of the train has derailed, the portable marking device is not available. The remainder of the train may be moved to the nearest terminal without being equipped with the marking device prescribed in this part. Appendix A of Part 221, procedures for the approval of the rear end marking device. The rest of it's just an appendix, and that's where we're going to quit. So, once again, that is your Part 221 rear end marking devices, passenger, commuter, and freighter trains.